All right, now tell me your name.
Frank Bass,
What year were you born?
1923.
Now, are we in the area where you were born?
That's right. Right on the spot where I was born here at home.
Tell me where we are.
6 miles east and 2 south of Crest, Texas.
So what was it like growing up here?
Pardon?
What was it like growing up here? Tell me some things.
We were happy. We went to a little school that was 1 mile north of the house. We sometimes, if the weather was good, we'd walk to school and walk back. But if the weather's bad, well, they took us in the car. And we had fun. We played Uno. We didn't go much. We made our own toys a lot of times.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
What kind of toys?
Oh, different things. We'd get a hook that come off of a wagon wheel, hub of a wagon wheel, and roll it with a stick. We call it a hoop. Homemade toys.
Now, how many brothers and sisters did you have? What were their names?
2 brothers and 2 sisters, and Gladys and Lucille, and then my brother E.O., and then I was born then, I was in there, and then Don was our youngest brother. Five children, 3 boys and 2 girls.
Now, tell me about your parents.
They were hard-working people, very energetic, and I guess they could decide on how to do things as easy and cheap as possible.
And
Back during the Depression years, they didn't anybody have any money to spare, so that everything had to be done economically.
was there a dust bowl during that time?
Pardon?
Was there a dust bowl?
Yes.
What
It was dry and the wind blew, and the farming practices then, they didn't control the sand blowing, so we had a lot of dark, dusty days.
What was that like?
Scary, really. For small children, for me, I remember when I was young, yeah.
Now, what do you remember? Some of the early things that happened when you were a child. Tell me some of those stories.
Some of the things that we did.
Yeah.
I can remember when I was, I guess, in the 7th grade in 1936, the Texas Centennial year. There was a special train came through Crest, and my brother and I, E.O., and I got on the train and went to spent 2 days at the State Fair in Texas in 1936, Centennial.
What kind of train was it?
It was a Santa Fe with a locomotive. They didn't have that before they started using diesel engine. It was a locomotive that powered the train. It had about 7 carloads of school kids that were on it was a special train going to the State Fair.
Now, did your parents farm?
Yes.
What did they farm?
Mostly wheat, a little bit of grain stuff that they'd put up for the cows, the milk cows, and the horses to eat.
Did you run any tractors with the EO?
Oh yes. I started driving tractors when I was about 10 or 11 years old. I'd ride with, EO was 3 years older than me, so he could drive, and so I'd ride with him and learn how to drive the tractor. So about 11 years old, I started driving it by myself.
Did you ever wreck a tractor?
No. Tractors didn't move as fast as they do now. They had steel wheels, and so they didn't travel very fast.
Steel wheels.
Real.
You didn't want to get run over by one of them, huh?
They started putting the rubber tires on tractors about 1936 or 7.
So, what did you or EO get married first?
EO got married first.
Tell me about that.
I remember when he and Pauline were dating, he got to use the pickup I don't think we ever got to use the car, but we used the pickup, and sometimes I'd go with them. I know they enjoyed having me with them. I was just a little tag-along kid, you know. A lot of times they'd have a date, but here was Frank along with them. Well, and James Vineyard too. So they had to contend with two of us guys that stick along.
Now, when you say go to town, where is town, and what'd you do in town?
Well, we always went to Plainview. We'd go to a movie, and on Saturdays, the family didn't go to town except once a week. We'd go to town maybe on Saturday to buy groceries. And Eo and I, a lot of times, we wanted a bicycle so bad, but we never were able to have a bicycle out here. But it's a good thing because the goat head's what was weeds that had thorns on it, and you couldn't run a bicycle without having flat tires. But anyway, we'd go to town and rent a bicycle on Saturday evening and ride for a couple of hours.
And you rented a bicycle?
Yeah, for 25 cents.
So, do you remember when EO got married?
Yeah, but their wedding, I don't know, they went off to, I forget where it wasn't here local. I mean, they were over to a neighboring town somewhere, but I don't know who the attendants were. They're good friends, you know, when they got married. It wasn't a church wedding, fancy wedding like some of them have now.
And then tell me about meeting your wife.
Well, I dated a lot of girls when I was in high school, you know, and after I got out of the service, well, I dated a few. And in fact, I was dating one of Wanda's girlfriends, and I'd met Wanda, you know, through that connection, and finally I decided, you know what, I think I'm chasing the wrong rabbit. So I started dating Wanda for about, 6 months, I think. And then we got married.
Where did you get married?
Where? At her house where they lived out at, it's where Quarterway is, out west of Plainview, where Quarterway is located now. They lived in a farmhouse where nothing else there but their farmhouse, and that's where they lived. We got married there at their house.
Who married you?
Russell Pogue, our pastor. We went to church at Cress, and he was our pastor at Cress, so he married us. His name was Russell Pogue.
What were you wearing that day?
Oh, I looked decent enough. Had a suit, wore a suit, and that's all. Yeah.
And then tell me, how many kids did you have and their names and when they were born?
Names, all right. We have 3 boys and a girl, 4 kids. Bob, starting with Bob, is the oldest. He lives in Austin, Texas. And then Mark, he lives in Irving, Texas. And then John lives out west of Plainview. And Melinda then lives in Marysville, Washington.
Now, where did you guys grow up? Where did your family grow up, the little kids?
Where did they grow up? Right here and in this area, yeah. We've always lived either in Plainview or outside Plainview or near Cress, you know, different places.
Okay.